We're here at the Bitcoin.com studio. That is the Bitcoin.com studio. Joining us now is Border Czar. What he says, he means. You better listen carefully. The legend, Tom Homan. Tom, great to see you. Tom, tell us about the significance of Alligator Alcatraz. What is it and what will it be used for?
Well, it's going to be used for detention. Look, we need detention capability, and that's one of the reasons we need the big, beautiful bill passed, because without Alligator Alcatraz, I mean, I looked at the numbers day before yesterday, and we had like 1,800 vacant beds. I mean, we are at max capacity. And without more beds means we arrest less people, because everybody we arrest has to be in a bed for several days or several weeks while we work on the deportation flights. This is the way the system is. So, you know, I appreciate Governor DeSantis coming forward with this option. It's going to give us 5,000 more beds and an area that makes sense. It's already an airport, so we're just taking over an existing property, existing concrete, existing foundations. So it's a great option. It's going to give us 5,000 more beds at a time where we need beds very, very badly.
And Tom, you're doing a wonderful job. And honestly, we need to continue to salute our incredible ICE agents. The left is going after them personally. They're trying to dox them. They're trying to intimidate. They're trying to harm them. Roughly how many deportations a day are we currently trending at? And what do you think we will get to once the big, beautiful bill is signed into law?
We're doing about 2,000 deportation flights a day, 2,000 aliens deported every day. And again, that's because of the limited resources, right? We got a limited number of agents, we got a limited number of beds, we got a limited number of transportation capability. So the big, beautiful bill is going to put more agents on the street. It's going to give us more detention beds to hold people, and it's going to let us increase the transportation contracts. We need more airplanes in the air. So you're going to see those numbers drastically increase. And also it's going to increase targeting of those we're looking for. We're going to bring a lot of great contractors in with AI and all this latest technology that will help us find people that don't want to be found, right? So it's going to increase capability in all areas, so you're going to see those deportation numbers climb.
And Tom, I want to comment you, 2,000 a day, that's a good baseline. And by the way, if we can get to 3,000 to 4,000, you annualize that. Now, I want to remind the audience, what is the ratio of forceful deportation, which we support, versus self-deportation? We're seeing a lot of self-deportation. The New York Post reported 1 million people have self-deported. That's an amazing number. So talk about self-deportations and how that plays in harmony with the larger deportation agenda.
Great question. I truly believe, look, I've been doing this for 40 years. While we're out there doing this big deportation operation throughout the nation, especially in sanctuary cities, we're not being bullied from doing our job. We're going to be out there every single day. LA, we got over 100 teams every day in LA looking for the worst of the worst. So as the illegal alien population in this country see us out there in full force throughout the country, more and more are being convinced to leave on their own. Get their affairs together and leave on your own. That way they can leave themselves opportunities, come back under some other program, whether it's a visitor's visa, tourist visa, work visa, or maybe they got a U.S. citizen child that can petition for them in the future. So they got a choice to get their affairs together and leave in a much humane manner where they can get their affairs in order and leave on their own, leave themselves some future opportunity, or they can wait till ICE come find them and put them in the deportation process and end up in a place like Alligator Alcatraz. So it makes sense. The more enforcement operations they see in the communities, the more people are convinced to leave on their own. So when this big, beautiful bill passes, I'm certainly hoping that you're going to see more self-deportations. And that's a great thing, because, it saves the taxpayers a lot of money on arrest, detention, judicial, and all this other stuff. And it saves the taxpayers money at the same time, making this country safe again. Because a lot of those self-deportations are criminals, because they don't want to be, arrested by ICE. And let's say it's an illegal alien we find them with drugs, or we find an illegal alien with a gun. They're going to be criminally prosecuted and go to prison before we deport them. So a lot of the public safety threats are leaving because they know they're a number one priority for the Trump administration. They know we're prioritizing public safety threats. So a lot of these self-removals are criminals.
Big time. And so let's just look at the three pieces of the formula here. None of this matters if you don't have the border secure. That's why Trump and you got that done first. And literally no one is coming across the southern border, Tom. And congratulations for that. You should just be repeatedly congratulated, 0. Is that right, Tom? Literally no one came across in May. I think I saw the numbers, just to reaffirm that.
No, zero got released. The ones that did come across immediately went home. I mean, no one got in. So it's a great number. I mean,
it's unheard of.
Did they get to the border? Yeah. Did they get in? They got in and got processed and got back home. They never got released. So it is 0. And I looked at the numbers as far as the encounters who actually comes to our border, met by Border Patrol's processed and removed. I think the numbers are going to be coming out later today. I think we'll see right around 7,000 or less. Now think of that in a month. In 30 days, you're talking about 7,000. That's less than Biden administration had a day. As a matter of fact, it's half of the 15,000 that Biden hit many times. So 7,000 in a month total encounters is a number I've never heard before.
With new tariffs rolling in, families everywhere are bracing for yet another jump in grocery prices. But GoodRanchers.com is tariff-proof thanks to their 100% American supply chain. While others scramble to adjust, Good Ranchers delivers consistent prices and unbeatable quality, all from farms right here in America. Good Ranchers is also giving you your pick of free meat for life when you subscribe. That's free ground beef, wild-caught salmon, seed oil-free chicken nuggets, or bacon in every box for life of your subscription. That's $300 of free meat your first year, second year, and every year for as long as you stay, and you're going to want to stay. Not only are the cuts of beef, chicken, pork, and seafood delicious, but the service and value they deliver is unmatched. Tariff-proof your meals with Good Ranchers. Visit GoodRanchers.com. Unlock your free meat for life. $40 off with promo code Kirk. That's GoodRanchers.com, promo code Kirk. Good Ranchers, American meat delivered. And by the way, remember James Langford, who voted for the big, beautiful bill. So thank you for that, Senator. But he was all about, we need this bipartisan thing, and we're going to have a limit of 5,000 people a day. You remember this, Tom Homan. All we needed was a new president. So you need the borders, number one. Then number two, and this is the key, is that we need more ICE agents. We need more people on the ground.
Yes.
And then number three, which is also important, though, is that we need to have a president with the will to continue the deportation agenda, especially in our major cities. Tom, are any
that's
comments
exactly
on that?
What we're doing. That's exactly what we're doing, Sean. The president said a couple weeks ago, and I agree with him. I've been saying it for months. We're going to flood the zone of sanctuary cities because we know we have a problem with sanctuary cities. We know they're releasing public safety threats every day. We don't have that problem in Florida where most of the sheriffs, matter of fact, all the sheriffs are working with us. They're not releasing illegal alien public safety threats. So what do we got to spend our resources? In places like New York City, where we know we got a problem, because we know public safety threats hit the street every day.
And just so everyone is clear, Tom, you are not forgetting any of America's cities. Just because they're a sanctuary city like Portland or Seattle, you're not just leaving them alone. This is a full occupation. Every square inch of America will be restored and reclaimed. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And with this big, beautiful bill, we get more agents on the ground. Look, we got over 20 million illegal aliens in this country. We got less than 5,000 deportation officers.
It's unbelievable.
We need more deportation officers to get out there and look for the... Again, we're prioritizing worst of the worst. The more resources we have, the more bad guys we arrest. The more bad guys we arrest, the safer this country is.
And anyone who interferes with the deportation effort, they also could face federal charges. Can you comment on that, Tom? Because some people are sharing ICE information. If you get in the way of a federal law enforcement procedure, could you also be arrested?
Zero tolerance. You can hate ICE. You can protest ICE. You have that. You have your, you got your First Amendment right. You can protest and scream and yell all you want. It's unfortunate, but when you cross that line, I've said this since January 20th. If you cross that line on impeding a federal law enforcement officer, if you cross that line on knowingly harboring, concealing illegal alien from ICE, if you cross that line, especially you put hands on an ICE officer, zero tolerance, you will be prosecuted.
And so, Tom, in closing here, I know you got a dash in a second. I want to play this piece of tape here. This was 285 from today at Alligator Alcatraz, play cut 285.
The Trump administration steps up ICE raids and mass deportations. One tech developer is pushing back with an app designed to track ICE activity in real time. It's called ICE Block, and it's controversial to say the least. How does this work?
You open the app, it looks like a map, and users can tap the map to report an ICE sighting in their area, and then everybody who uses the platform within 5 miles of that sighting will get a push alert. This is a free iPhone app. It is anonymous. Aaron says he doesn't collect any user data. And what I think is really interesting about this in this moment is we've seen so many of the biggest leaders in tech supporting President Trump. But Aaron is sort of an example of the fact that there are people within the tech industry who are really resistant to Trump's policies.
Tom, announced today CNN is under criminal investigation for this. Is this legal? Are you allowed to track federal law enforcement, publicize it on an app?
Look, I'll leave it up to DOJ. I mean, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a prosecutor, but I've asked DOJ to look into us. People need to understand the dangerous job that ICE has every day. Again, we're prioritizing public safety threats, national security threats. It already is very dangerous. To put an app out there and have CNN, a national network, advertise it, educate people, and as out there, and here's how you can use it, it puts ICE officers at a great risk. It's only a matter of time before there's an ambush where some nut is going to be laying in ICE, knowing they're coming. There's going to be some bad guy who doesn't care, like the bad guy who threw a Molotov cocktail at 100%. Officers in Los Angeles. This is extreme. It's disgusting, and I hope DOJ takes some action. I pray to God we get this thing shut down. The men and women at ICE put themselves on the harm's way every day. And people need to remember this. They're not Nazis. They're not racist. They're mothers and fathers, too. Yep. They're enforcing the laws enacted by Congress. They're not making this up. They're executing final orders removal issued by a federal judge.
Bingo.
If you don't like what ICE is doing, then go yell at Congress, tell them to change the law. Until then, let's support the men and women of ICE.
We have your back, Tom Homan. We got to get to 10 million deportations. We have your back to get that done. Thank you, sir. We have the amazing Student Action Summit coming up literally in a week and a half. Can you believe it? It's going to be an amazing event. We're so excited about the crowds and the energy and the enthusiasm. We have Kristi Noem. We have Tucker Carlson. We have Pete Hegseth. We have the biggest speakers in the movement. Let's play it. Let's play cut 51.
They said Gen Z would stay silent, that we'd back down, that we'd forget what's worth fighting for. But this generation remembers. We remember truth. We remember freedom. And now, we rise. This is more than a conference. It's a call to action, to reclaim the future, to ignite a movement that cannot be ignored. Student Action Summit 2025, featuring the boldest voices in the fight. Charlie Kirk, Secretary Pete Hegseth, Tucker Carlson, Steve Bannon, Brett Cooper, Secretary Kristi Noem, Riley Gaines, Brandon Tatum, Jack Posobiec, Laura Ingraham, Megyn Kelly, Greg Gutfeld, Tom Homan, Congressman Byron Donalds, Russell Brand, Savannah Chrisley. Join thousands of patriots, future leaders, and freedom fighters of all ages. This is the battleground of ideas. This is the Student Action Summit. Register now at sas2025.com.